The film begins at a ballet recital where 12-year-old Abigail delivers a graceful performance, unaware that 3 criminals in the audience are watching her closely. Outside, 3 more accomplices, a hacker, a sniper, and a getaway driver, wait for instructions. Once the show ends, the trio inside swiftly abduct Abigail, load her into a van, and evade detection as they head to a secluded mansion. There, the group meets their leader, Lambert, who assigns them code names: Joey, Frank, Sammy, Dean, Peter, and Rickles. Their mission is clear: hold Abigail for 24 hours and demand a $50 million ransom from her wealthy father, promising each member a $7 million share. Lambert confiscates their phones and orders them to keep their identities hidden from the girl before leaving. As the night progresses, the criminals drink and banter. Frank, Peter, and Sammy bet that Joey can't figure out their pasts, but she nails each one. Frank is a former cop, Peter once enforced for the Quebec Mafia, and Sammy comes from wealth but turned to crime for thrills. Later, Joey checks on Abigail, and the two share a quiet moment. Joey admits she has a son, but keeps his name secret, so Abigail playfully calls him Justin. Before Joey leaves, Abigail eerily apologizes for what is about to happen. Dean makes an awkward pass at Sammy, but she brushes him off. He heads to the basement, where he is suddenly dragged away by an unseen force. Moments later, his blood-curdling scream echoes through the house, drawing Sammy to investigate. To her horror, Dean's severed head drops to the floor. The rest of the group rushes in, finding his lifeless body and descending into panic. In the chaos, Frank stumbles into Abigail's room, where she catches a clear look at his face. He points his gun at her, demanding to know her father's identity. Abigail calmly names Christophe Lazar, a name that makes Frank go pale. Once a cop, Frank recalls a case involving Lazar, a feared criminal kingpin, during which 4 fellow officers were slaughtered by a mysterious assassin known only as Valdez. Suspicion begins to brew. Joey and Rickles privately speculate that Frank might actually be Valdez, eliminating the crew one by one to keep the ransom for himself. Before they can act, Rickles is savagely torn apart by the same unseen attacker. Frank suggests to Peter that they should kill Abigail to end the nightmare, but Joey intervenes. When they confront the girl in her room, Abigail drops her facade, revealing herself as a centuries-old vampire who has been Valdez all along. She launches at them, forcing the group to flee. Their escape is short-lived, as the mansion's security system locks them inside. The survivors scramble to arm themselves with whatever folklore offers: garlic, crucifixes, silver bullets, and wooden stakes. They attempt an ambush, but Abigail, eerily dancing with Dean's corpse, proves nearly unstoppable. Frank unloads a round into her head, but she heals instantly. She rips Peter's cross from his neck and stabs him with it, while Sammy's garlic defense fails miserably. Abigail bites Sammy, who tumbles into a gruesome pool filled with the remains of her past victims. In a desperate move, Joey manages to subdue Abigail with the same tranquilizer used during her kidnapping. The group locks the vampire in a cage, though they know the nightmare is far from over. When Abigail regains consciousness, Frank tries to intimidate her, but she turns the tables, exposing each member's true identity and darkest secrets. She reveals that Sammy's real name is Jessica, a runaway who robbed her wealthy parents. Peter is actually Terrence, a muscle-bound enforcer once used by the Mafia for his brute strength. Frank is unmasked as Adam, a man who once worked for her father, Christophe Lazar, until Abigail murdered Lazar's crew and left their mangled corpses for him to find. Finally, Joey's real name is Ana Lucia, a former army medic whose morphine addiction led her to accidentally sever the artery of a powerful crime boss. That mistake put her on Lazar's radar and ultimately cost her custody of her son. Abigail explains that all of them had ties to Lazar, and Lambert delivered them to her not for ransom, but as a feast. When Joey accuses her of seeking her father's affection, Abigail coldly replies that Lazar never loved her. She simply enjoys playing with her food. Frank is left to guard Abigail, but she easily escapes her cage and tries to strangle him. Acting fast, Joey smashes through the boarded windows, flooding the room with sunlight, which scorches Abigail. The group scatters in search of an exit, but Sammy's transformation into a vampire is complete, and Abigail takes control of her like a puppet. Under Abigail's command, Sammy murders Peter and drains him dry. Before she can attack Joey and Frank, Joey redirects sunlight onto Sammy, incinerating her in a gory explosion of blood and ash. Joey and Frank search the mansion for a way to shut down its security system, only to stumble upon a hidden control room, and Lambert waiting inside. He reveals the truth. He is a vampire as well and orchestrated the entire abduction, not for ransom, but to feed Abigail. There was never any money. Lambert tempts Frank with the offer to join them, promising they could overthrow both Lazar and Abigail together. Frank agrees, allows Lambert to turn him, then double-crosses him, staking Lambert and blowing him to pieces moments later. Now fully turned, Frank hunts down Joey and Abigail, intending to seize Lazar's empire for himself. Abigail battles Frank, but he manages to drink some of her blood, making him even more powerful. He then bites Joey, attempting to bring her under his control. Abigail reveals that Joey can break free by killing the vampire who bit her. Joining forces, Joey and Abigail overpower Frank and drive a stake through his heart, causing him to explode in a violent burst, instantly curing Joey. As night falls, Joey prepares to leave, only to come face to face with Lazar himself. He cryptically claims to have lived under many names, hinting at a legendary past, and moves to kill her. But Abigail intervenes, telling her father that Joey helped save her from Frank. Lazar and Abigail spare Joey's life, but make it clear they know where her son is, revealing his name, Caleb. Determined to protect him, Joey takes a van and drives off into the night to find her son.